Hey everyone, I'm going to go ahead and clean my 38 Special Service revolver and my 22 long rifle. It's a pistol, semi-automatic, so I needed to clean them. So I figured why not put it on film and throw it up on YouTube. So I hope you all enjoy. Let's get started. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start with the revolver. Let's start with the big one first, okay? So we'll just go ahead and set this one aside for now. And we'll start with the Smith & Wesson Service Revolver 38 Special. Alright. Now this is the service revolver that my wife's grandfather carried while he was a police officer over there in Pennsylvania. And of course we have trademark Smith & Wesson, and like I said, it is the 38 Special. Yeah, it wasn't long ago, maybe a year ago, that my wife was talking to her dad and talking to him about how it'd be nice to have a self-defense weapon in the house here. We live in Arizona, and all we had was a little 22 revolver. Not that a 22 wouldn't work for self-defense for in the home. You know, we just thought it would be nice to have something a little larger, and she was talking to her dad about it. And he said, well, I have that 38 service revolver in that your grandpa used to carry, and he said, how about I send that down? So he now I'm not a professional gunsmith slash gun cleaner. Just for a little bit of lubrication, I put some WD-40 in the barrel before I start brushing it out. If that's a bad thing, or if that you shouldn't do that, whatever, go ahead and comment. I don't claim to know everything. So anyway, he said, how about I send that down? And so it just so happens that my parents were in their neck of the woods. They're seasonal in Arizona. They're snowbirds, and they were in Washington, where my in-laws live. And so they passed it off to my parents, and they brought it down. And so that's how we came into possession of it. So it does belong now. My father-in-law did pass it down to my wife. So this is what we use for home defense if the occasion ever arose. So yeah, it's a pretty nice gun. If you go by the sights, I mean, it don't have a lot for sights, it don't have adjustable sights, but if you go by the sights, it does shoot a little high and to the left, so you have to compensate for that. But once you do, actually no, it doesn't shoot high to the left, it shoots low to the right, therefore you have to aim a little high and to the left a little bit. I'm trying to, sometimes I don't know if it's supposed to do that or not. I don't it twists with the rifling in the barrel. If you look in a gun like this, it has rifling in there, and the rod keeps twisting with the rifling. I want to get I don't know if I'm supposed to stop it from doing that, or either way, it's better than not cleaning it. We did take it out and took it shooting a little while ago, and haven't cleaned it yet. Get a little bit in each cylinder here. Again, if there's some gun guys out there and they're like, oh my gosh, what is he doing to that revolver? Why is he using that WD-40? He should know better than that. What is he doing? He's gonna ruin that gun. Feel free to comment. Like I said, I'm no professional. If there's a better product to use or there a better way to go about this, by all means. I am not one of those guys that can't take some friendly advice or constructive criticism. I will take it. Just about done with the cylinder here. Basically what I'm doing is just cleaning out the soot, leftover, the residue, the gunpowder residue. Now I did notice on these revolvers, whenever you're done shooting, there's a lot of buildup here. So I'm just going to take this copper brush. Now this is a copper brush, and this is steel, so the copper brush shouldn't be harming the gunmetal. It is a softer, copper brush is softer. There's that, the idea behind that. Okay? Alright, let's just turn this around. Do some more on this side. Almost down here. Get in there, clean that out. I know this might be an obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and then it might be something I should already know. But tell me, let me know, is this something you should do after every trip to the gun range? Or every other trip to the gun range? Should this be performed every trip? That's what I would like to know these things. I would like to become more knowledgeable in that area. Another copper brush. Just trying to clean up around that barrel there. I remember the first gun. I like guns. I have a few guns. My first gun, I remember I got whenever I was a young man. I was a young guy. I was probably 11 years old. Which I consider young for getting your first 22. It was a 22 Marlin 22 semi-automatic. It took 22 long rifle, and I remember my dad took me down to this sporting goods store called Western Auto, a little sporting goods store we had there in the town we lived in, small town we lived in, and picked me up a 22 Marlin. It's a little semi-automatic, took a 7-round clip. Nice little plinking gun. I remember thinking how proud I was. My dad had bought this gun for me. And yeah, it was awesome day that day. So really appreciate my dad teaching me gun safety. Went through a gun safety course. Appreciate my dad not being one to shy away from things like guns, and taught me to respect guns and how to handle guns. So appreciate the father that brought me up the way he did, to respect and appreciate guns for what they were, a hobby, not necessarily a toy, you know, so I do appreciate him for that. I'm going to just take this swab. There's got to be a better system here. There we go. I'm just going to take the swab and swab out the barrel now. Clean up the oil that was in there. You can see the residue that was left in that barrel from my last trip to the shooting range. And we'll just finish this gun up and then start on the other gun. Turn that over. There we go. And then I remember my second gun, which I got for Christmas, was a 20 gauge Winchester 20 gauge pump shotgun. I like that gun a lot. I use it for... I tried going dove hunting one time, and let me tell you what, I am not a good dove hunter. Went with a buddy of mine. Had never been. Went with a buddy of mine, and I'll be danged if those things, you are hard pressed to hit one of them things. So that was the first and last trip for me with the dove hunting, because I couldn't, and I'm not much of a hunter. I mean, I like to target shoot. I like to have a gun for self-defense. You know, if someone were to break into my home, I would be able to protect myself. I've had gun safety courses, hunting courses, you know, for when I was a kid. I've been to the range quite a bit, just not into the hunting much at all, other than targets and clay pigeons. I do like to shoot clay pigeons. Oh my gosh, that is fun. If you haven't never done that, find a local gun club where they'll give you some lessons. You can rent guns. You can rent that stuff. And no, let me tell you, good times, good times. I would do that. If I had the resources, I would do that probably on the very least weekly. I would do that. I mean, that would be definitely be my cup of tea. As it is, I'm only able to get out there and do pigeon shooting once in a while. Not real often, but I always love it when I'm able to go out and do that. The local gun club that we have, the local range, has the automatic throwers, and it has one that comes right up over your... There's a automatic thrower out a few yards in front of you, and when you hit the button, or your person running the thing hits the button, that it throws a pigeon right at you, right over your head. I just think that is the coolest thing. But I would do that. Like I said, I would do that a lot more if I could, if I had opportunity. Alright, just finishing up on this revolver. I'm going to put a couple more passes through with this swab so that I can finish up, get on to the next firearm, my 22 pistol. And I'll show you how to break that down. Revolver, there's really not much breaking down, as you can see. It's just opening up the cylinder. You can get to all the moving parts pretty easy that you need to clean. Unless I'm doing this totally wrong. I just can imagine there being like actual like gun fanatics or gun people who know way more about guns and maintenance and cleaning than I do. I can imagine if I'm doing this totally wrong. I can just imagine people are going to be watching this video. They're going to be watching this video and just having a bit of a fit. Alright, so let me just wipe this down real quick. And then we'll move on. I think that's about good. Now there should be some residue left on this from using that WD-40 to keep the gun nice and oiled up. I mean, you can see there, I think that's spinning like it's supposed to. And I'm ready for the range, ready for put my hollow points in there. And that should be good on that one. Alright everyone, so here we go with the 22 target pistol. This also came from my father-in-law. He actually brought this one down with him when he came down for a visit. And this one is an Olympia, TT Olympia pistol, caliber 22 long rifle. And if you'll notice, the reason I call it a target pistol is because according to and from what I looked up online, according to my father-in-law, it was used in shooting competition in one of the Olympics, I think. I could be wrong. I wish I knew for sure. But that's kind of, where I'm at with it. If I'm incorrect, please just let me know in the comments and educate me. I need more education when it comes to guns. So, but anyway, if you look down here, there's 2 threaded holes. And what used to be here, and I know this is for sure, I looked this up online and found some pictures. There used to be a weight, there's like a counterbalance, little weight, about 1/4 inch thick, kind of like this, that would hold the muzzle down, give you a little more weight on the front of the muzzle, I guess. And with a couple of screws, a couple of bolts, you just bolt that little weight on there. And so it keep your more balance, I guess. So, but anyway, enough said about that. Let's tear into this puppy and clean it up. So, how do we go about doing that? Well, I would have never known how to break down this. I have had a Beretta and I knew how to break it down. And if my father-in-law hadn't showed me how to break down this pistol, I would have never figured it out on my own. I would have had to go online. I would have had to talk to a gun person. But anyways, watch this. This is going to be a kick in the pants for anyone who has never seen this pistol broken down, maybe there are other pistols that break down in a similar fashion, but this is the first time I've ever seen a pistol be taken apart in this manner, and you'll never guess how it comes apart. I would have never guessed. But your trigger guard here, if you'll notice on the trigger guard, and I would have never noticed or thought anything of it myself, but there is a pin here. This is a hinge. Bet you didn't know that, or maybe did. And I'm just a complete moron and need to learn more about guns. But first, this is the first time I've seen one like this. So, without further ado, I'm going to try and do this, and I'm going to try and make it look as graceful as possible. No guarantees. So, this gets pulled down. See that? And that releases the action. So, you pull that down, you bring the action back, up on the back portion. How about that? Huh? Huh? Isn't that nifty? I thought it was pretty nifty myself, but I still think it's pretty nifty. So anyways, what I'm going to do, because this is what I think you're supposed to do, is I'm going to clean in there. I see some black soot from the gunpowder, I guess, or whatever. I see some black soot on the rails in there, and I'm going to clean that out. And again, please feel free to comment and let me know if this is something I should only be doing every other trip to the range, or every trip to the range. I mean, from what I know, I think you're supposed to do it after you put a bunch of rounds through it when you're at the range. I think you're supposed to come home and clean it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean this puppy up. Alright? So let me get my ramrod and put the right tip on it. Now I really like this pistol, but let me tell you something. If you have one, make sure, or if you have the opportunity to get one and you purchase one, or you find yourself with one of these, make sure that you're only using premium ammo in this thing, because I don't know if the spring's too tight, the action spring is too tight, or what. But if you don't have good ammo, it is not going to eject those shells right, and you're going to have a mess of a time with jams and the sort. So just a word to the wise that you will be dealing with like I did. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought the gun at first was a piece of junk, because it would not cooperate. It would not eject those shells for nothing. And I put some premium rounds through it, a little bit more poop to them, some nicer ammo, and I eliminated. It don't always pay to go cheap. This towel, using a towel underneath is not, look at that. Okay, how I'm catching that. Not the best idea, but I didn't want to scrap up my desk. I'm doing this inside. A lot of times I like to do stuff in my garage, on my workbench, but by gosh, I live in Arizona, folks, and it is 106 degrees outside right now. And I'm not about to, and it's 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like 100 degrees out. Earlier it was 106, 108. I'm not about to go out there. Let me see if I can just use this for this here. Well, it doesn't really do anything. No. So there's the barrel. Got the barrel cleaned out. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. Where's that? There we go. that up. Whoops. Whoa. Forgot about my can of beans. I got it for a counterbalance on my tripod because I have it leaning. I got a can of beans. Almost lost my whole setup. I got a can of beans holding the tripod, counterbalance. And because my tripod's leaning way forward, kind of at an angle, and if I don't have that counterbalance sitting on the tripod on the back, I fall over forward, just like y'all seen it just about do. That's embarrassing. I'm learning. I don't think that's a very good brush for this. Got this little one here. Probably do a better job. Let's get here, and we're almost done with this one. I don't think it takes much on this one. So get in there and get in here and get these rails cleaned up. Right? Oh, baby, we're ready to go. I'm anxious about getting this one back out on the range, to tell you the truth. What's that? Oh, that must be from rocks or something. I am excited to get this one back out on the range. I enjoyed shooting this once I got the right ammo going through it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Enjoyed shooting this rifle, or this pistol up at the range. I had a good time with that. Okay, ejection. What would you call that? Ejection claw, whatever. Clamps onto the. Is that what you call that? An ejection claw? Make sure I hit that a little bit. Hit that with a little bit of WD. I'm not sure if WD is the proper oil, but it's what I have, and I don't know any better. If you know any better, I think I've said this too many times already in this video. I think but absolutely don't hesitate to comment and say, hey dude, that's all wrong, man. You need to use this or this. I know Cutlery Lover, I watch his videos, guy on YouTube, Cutlery Lover, and he seems to know all the right stuff. I should have went back and watched his video about what to be using. Maybe I wouldn't come off as such a moron, but at least I'm trying, you know. I'm trying to get this cleaned up and doing the right thing here. I don't want to be one of those guys that doesn't take care of his firearms. And this is how I've always done it. This is what I've used. This is the process that I've used on my guns. And so I don't know any other way, to tell you the truth. Enough about that. Spend all my videos talking about how unknowledgeable and inept I am, and I won't get anybody to watch my videos, will I? Alright, so that looks good to me. I'm going to put a little bit of WD on there, a little bit of oil on that part. I'm going to try and put this thing back together. Maybe I can bypass the... Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Well, maybe I can. Maybe I'll bypass that, because this grip's on there. Maybe I'll bypass that other thing and just use this. Yeah, look at that. That's what you need to do. Of course, I probably won't be able to get it off now. Bad idea. How about I do it the way you're supposed to do it? That was bad. That could have really clogged up my brush. There we go. Yeah, run a swab through there again. That's still pretty tight, even at Christmas. Alright, I think that's good. I think that's good. I think we got her going. There's the clip. Now the clip has this. Now these, I will tell you, these clips are not easy to find for this model of gun. These clips aren't the easiest thing to find. So if anybody knows where I can get another spare one of these, by all means comment below and let me know about that. Alright? Alright, let's get this thing back together and wrap this video up. I think it's going to be one of my longest videos yet so far. So let me see if I can do this again gracefully without looking like, oh, you know what? I was gonna oil this up a little bit. It's so hard with these aerosol to get just a little bit, you know. I always end up getting more than I want to get on there. That's my one complaint about the. You don't want to get too much oil in there and just start collecting dust and dirt. That would be one of my complaints about that WD-40 is trying to squeeze out. Oh, see? Oh, jeez. See what I mean? Barely pushed that trigger a little too hard. Damn, I'm probably getting way too much oil on this thing. Holy cow. Let me wipe some of that off. Go over it lightly with this rag. Wipe some of that excess off. Goodness. Alright, I think that's substantial. Okay, I'm going to try and reassemble without making too much of an idiot of myself. Alright, so the hammer's got to be down. If the hammer comes up on you, make sure that the hammer's down. And then just bring it back. And then you have to pull this without pulling the trigger and dropping the hammer. You've got to pull that down. Alright, now this one on this particular model, unless you have the clip in, it won't stay open. So you put the clip in there and it will stay open. Then you just alright. Well, what do you think? Not too bad, eh? Not too shabby. So hey, if you enjoyed the video at all, you enjoy my videos at all, go ahead and hit subscribe. Go down and below and click like if you like the video.